Unsustainable development occurs when present progress is at the expense of future generation. For example, irresponsible planning, irresponsible procurement that accompanies environmental degradation through exploitation of natural resources or through generation of excessive waste that could be toxic, and sometimes pollution that damages the ecosystem. So there are projects that are not sustainable in itself. This is why the Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards Capacity Building Program of Richflood is kicking off in November. PES, Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards. So sustainable procurement in itself is a process of acquiring goods, works, and services from a supplier, from a contractor, that provides the optimum combination of whole life costs and benefits to meet the customer, the agency, the ministry, the department, the agent, the government arm requirements. So sustainable procurement means taking into account economic, environmental, and social impacts in the procurement cycle itself. As you can see, the economy, the environment, and the society have to have a balance, have to have a point of integration of jobs, of course, from the economic angle. Jobs are being created when a road construction is to be undertaken, maybe 200 kilometers road construction. Of course, you have to also think of the natural environment based on this project, and you have to also do some social inclusion, some consideration about the communities that will be impacted by the project. These are the three arms of sustainable development, and in the course of this capacity building program, Richflood will go in depth to make all of the procurement officers, the procurement management staff, or the regulatory agencies or the ministries, departments in Nigeria, during the training program, we will make all of the stakeholders to see the balance between environment, between the economy, and between the society. Sustainable Procurement, Environmental and Social Standards Program, PES, for procurement departments and staff in public and private sectors is presently planned because there is no sustainable procurement capacity development in the country. Most procurement activities just go on without the issue of sustainability, of environmental sustainability of the project being considered at all stages. So this training program is looking at from the planning stage, from the procurement planning stages, from the procurement implementation stages, and even the monitoring and evaluation stages of procurement. We're looking to see that the environmental and social standards are being enforced in all of the procurement life cycle. So the lack in sustainable procurement skills and competence have grave impacts on the implementation of projects, either in a government angle or donor funded, or even in the organized private sectors. This causes delays, excessive cost overruns, economic losses, and environmental degradation, and poor public service in the long run. Nigeria remains a country at crossroads on sustainable development. As the country pushes forward on economic development, given the weak technical and operational capacities for environmental and social due diligence in all sectors, addressing key issues in these sectors should be priority areas of government to guarantee development that are sustainable and protective of the people, development that integrates institutional strengthening on impact and risk assessment into the national capacity building strategy, and operationalize environmental and social sustainable development approach as a clear-cut strategy for delivering the economic recovery and growth plan, which is a plan that spans between 2017 and 2020 in the Nigerian government programs or plans that have been called out for the ERGP objectives of economic growth and inclusive development have to capture the environmental and social sustainable development approach, which Richflood office is currently discussing with the ERGP office to ensure that this considerations are incorporated in the documents that have been developed by the Ministry of Budget and National Planning, so that this becomes a more robust document and the issue of environmental sustainability is fully captured in this plan, ERGP of Nigeria. There is a growing concern in Nigeria, of course, over the scarcity of personnel with appropriate E&S skills, environmental and social skills. Knowledge and institutional mandates to anchor and drive environmental and social standard functions in a coherent and coordinated manner is lacking. So the application of the new environmental and social framework of the World Bank for all development partner-financed investment projects further increases the demand for a cadre of personnel with appropriate environmental and social management skills. This is also a motivation why Richflood is undertaking this nationwide training courses focusing on procurement directorate cadre and also procurement officials, personnel in government and also in the private sector. So the training modules and handouts will provide more robust material for further learning and implementation in the different ministries, departments, agencies, and in the different states that we are going to be having this capacity building program. So a total of 22 modules have been prepared for this training series, and we want you to be interested. We want you to request for it through email. We want you to register for these training courses. We want you to, if you're a decision maker, we want you to influence decision making in this direction to make sure that procurement officers and all interested parties attend this event, and so that we can have a more robust outing eventually. So this document is developed in line with the World Bank agenda on PES in Nigeria, and therefore we are going to be seeking partnership with the World Bank in order to achieve the objectives of this this planned capacity building program in Nigeria. My name is Comfort Asokoro Ogaji of Richflood International Limited, and I really look forward to seeing you guys at the event. And we are doing a lot of research to have more robust information made available to you, and also to ensure that at the end of the training there will be practical implementation of all of these modules that will be discussed step by step during the training programs. So you can email me directly. Let me add that to the email on the screen. You can reach me at comfort@richflood.com. comfort@richflood.com, so that I can personally look at your needs if there is any personal needs different from what we have discussed so far. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.